This is Dave broadcasting live for Choice 102 on our Facebook page. We are on Chemung Street in the Village of Waverly. We've got heavy smoke coming from a 2-3-story structure. It's a 2-story structure with attic. Got heavy smoke coming out of the attic. We're on Chemung Street at the corner of Orchard Street. Waverly-Barton Fire is on scene, actively still arriving. Engine 1302 is on scene with Waverly-Barton's ladder truck as well. Chemung Street is currently closed. 1 block east, 1 block west. Ladder truck's going up. Waverly PD has the street closed. You can see the column of smoke going up over the village right now. You can absolutely tell there's an active fire happening here. Anywhere in the valley you can see it.
Yeah, Dog's over there.
Heavy smoke damage throughout the entire structure. Heavy fire damage on the 2nd floor and in the attic. It's like about 15 to 20 firefighters on scene right now. The water supply has been set up from a hydrant across the street, the intersection of Chemung Street and Athens Street. And it looks like we've still got active fire coming out of the east side of the structure. Valley EMS is on scene as well. Not sure about the occupancy of the structure. Been on a lot of fire scenes over the years, and it feels like there's nobody in the structure. You can usually tell based on the energy on the scene and the speed that the firefighters are moving around. They're moving around quickly like there's a structure fire, but not quickly like there's anybody inside. Of course, that's unofficial and unconfirmed. I'm going to get outside of the smoke here. That corner looks like possible origin of the fire.
We're going to move over here, but we have to get why?
So you got Waverly Police, Greater Valley EMS, Waverly-Barton Fire. So far, just the 1 engine and the 1 ladder truck and a utility truck. Looks like fire's still going in the attic. You can see there's flames. There's flames coming out.
How many lights do you have so far? Dang.
There's flames coming out of that window closest to us on the attic side there. Not sure if the camera's really picking that up. They're going to stop right there to not go over the hose line. Another engine coming from the opposite direction. Athens ladder trucks showing up south of the border. It's a 2-alarm fire so far then, with Waverly and Athens on scene, both from the valley. You can see there are 5 mailboxes hanging off the front of this house. So it's a multi-unit dwelling. So the big house looks like there's probably multiple apartments inside there. So usually in a fire like this, you'd have a Red Cross to be called. They'd assist the residents of the home. If there's anybody that needs housing, emergency housing, it'll be provided by the Red Cross. The response is up to probably 30 to 40 firefighters on scene now. Again, broadcasting live from Chemung Street, corner of Chemung Street and Orchard Street in the Village of Waverly, New York. On scene for a working structure fire in this 2-story structure. Kind of looks like 3, but I guess the 3rd story would be considered the attic. You count it however you want. Putting the second ladder truck up now to the rear of the building. Athens Borough is doing that. Looks like Athens Borough and Athens Township fire departments are both here, so that's 3 alarms now. Borough and Township are separate fire departments in the valley. of the structure, you can see 6 separate electric meters. And a garage out back. The number 7 above it, so that might be a separate unit. You see the back of the house doesn't have nearly the same damage as the front. And the heaviest damage seems to be this front corner. That's southeast side of the building.
Take it, fake it. You don't know.
So Athens Borough, Athens Township, assisting Waverly-Barton Fire and Greater Valley EMS and Waverly PD with this Chemung Street and Orchard Street. Street is closed, both directions, for all traffic. Structure fire came in just before 7 o'clock this evening. Doesn't look like EMS is treating anyone here at the scene. So again, unconfirmed, we don't know for sure, but it would seem that everyone's out of the structure. That's unconfirmed. Looks like they do have 2 hand lines going inside the structure from the front. Number on the front of the house is 209 Chemung Street. 2 hand lines going in the main front door here, and then we can see firefighters moving around on foot, standing up on the 2nd floor. So it looks like they're in the primary area where the fire is. Again, heaviest damage, front right corner of the structure. And smoke still coming from that 2 attic windows, heavier smoke coming from the window on the right. It's the southeast corner of the building. Here's what the scene's looking like right now. Like 5 fire trucks on scene. 2 engines, 1 rescue truck potentially, that might be a rescue pumper, and then 2 ladder trucks. About 30 to 40 firefighters. The beeping you hear are pass alarms. Each firefighter who has an air tank on their back, those are SCBAs. They're called SCBAs, and they're equipped with pass alarm devices. And so if the firefighter stops moving, the pass alarm will start to beep so that people can locate it. They're pretty constant sound on fire grounds because someone will be standing still, waiting for their next assignment, and while they're standing still it starts to beep, or if the tank is no longer needed, they'll take it off and set it down, and a lot of times forget to turn it off or not bleed the air out of the system so the pass alarm will activate, but it does not mean that there's any trouble with any of the firefighters currently on this scene. They're doing some overhaul. You can see right here at the top, you've got one firefighter on the roof at the peak from the backside. And then you see right here, they're doing some overhaul there. Opening up the eaves, checking for extension. They definitely have fire right there. Got two ladders on the front going on the porch roof, and then there's another ground ladder on the east side of the building. Plus you've got both ladder trucks up to the second floor. Still fire in the eaves. You can hear the chainsaws. They're ventilating on the back side of the structure. That means they're cutting through the roof using the chainsaw that's going to evacuate the smoke. And you can see that fire starting to come out again of that window. They're going to hit it with the hose. After they hit that spot they're on, they'll turn around and get the fire in the other window there, attic window. There are a lot of eyes on this fire from the front yard. So in the fire service, you have different color helmets. It's part of the command system. So the white helmets are the fire chiefs. The red helmets are typically captains or lieutenants. And then black helmets are firefighters. They can be interior or exterior. So you've got firefighters that are actively working on the fire, on or in the structure. Then you've got more firefighters packed up, ready to go. Packed up meaning they have their SCBA air bottles on. It's not oxygen, it is air. Pure oxygen is flammable. Air is just regular room air, which contains about 21% oxygen. So it's air that they have in those bottles under high pressure, about 4,500 psi usually. So those firefighters standing up front, they're packed up, they're ready to go in and relieve the firefighters that are in the building when they come out, or in case additional firefighters are needed. And then you have yet more firefighters closer to the road. So there's always more ready to go if the situation escalates or if they need to rotate through to give the firefighters breaks and rest. Temperature's about 78 right now. It's not real hot. It's not real cool. Not too often you get a structure fire when it's 78 degrees. Usually it's ridiculously hot or ridiculously cool. Again, my name is Dave from Choice 102. We are on Chemung Street in the Village of Waverly at the corner of Orchard Street. We're at a single structure fire. No exposures to any of the other homes around us. No other homes affected. It is contained to this one dwelling. This dwelling is a rather large house. It's got about 5 mailboxes at the front door, so it indicates that this house has at some point been divided up into separate apartments. We're looking at probably 5 apartments here up front. Then out back there is a sort of a carriage house garage, 2-story garage that looks like it's been converted to an apartment as well. And there's a number above one of those doors, the number 7, so potentially as many as 7 units here on this property, with 5 in the main house. No real fire damage on the first floor, heavy fire damage on the second floor on the right hand side, so looks like the origin corner of the fire. And then you've got heavy fire damage to the attic as well, smoke and water damage too. Back side of the house doesn't look like there was all that much damage. It's mostly contained to the front, although the entire structure, of course, will be affected by smoke, fire, and water damage. If you're wondering where my commentary is coming from, it's coming from over 20 years experience as a volunteer firefighter. I'm no longer a firefighter. I retired about 8 years ago when we started buying up more radio stations in the Twin Tiers. But I was a firefighter, went all the way up to an assistant fire chief for a number of years. And they just covered it, or pulled a piece of fascia off that top left attic window, and it's revealed that there is still fire inside the roof structure there. Waverly-Barton doing a great job here with their assistants from Athens Borough and Athens Township. Everybody's wearing all their personal protective equipment. Everybody's got their boots, their gloves, pants, and coats. They've got their face masks, hoods, helmets on. There is a team on the roof, in the back part of the roof. Give you a little scan of what's going on here in the front yard and the street. Again, Chemung Street is closed. We've got 3 fire trucks on Chemung Street. We've got 2 ladder trucks on Orchard Street. Greater Valley EMS is here, along with Waverly Village Police Department. A large diameter hose across the street, using one hydrant over there, and then another hydrant on the north side of Chemung Street, off of Orchard Street. So, we have not received any official word from anyone here on scene, and it's unlikely that we will while we're here. So everything I'm telling you is unofficial, and it's just what I'm reporting, seeing with my own eyes firsthand. So take that for what it's worth. Fire largely under control at this point. Fire is not out, but fire is largely under control. You can see most of the smoke over the valley has cleared from this fire. The haze is gone. But there is still some smoke coming from the structure. There is still fire in the attic. Just hot spots at this point. That is an active fire scene here. Again, corner of Chemung Street, Orchard Street. Orchard Street is the side street, Chemung is the main street. Large crowd here. Greater Valley EMS is on scene. They have not transported anyone from the scene. At no point in time did it look like they've ever done any search or rescue operation in the building. Obviously, while they're in the building, they are checking the building over just to make sure that nobody's in there, but there's been no formal search as far as looking for people inside the structure. So it would seem that everybody is out, and that is unconfirmed and by no means official in any way, shape, or form. Usually when there's still somebody in the structure, there is a palpable level of panic, and you would see these professional volunteers behaving in a slightly different way. You can just sort of feel it when there's somebody in there. There's more radio traffic, there's a little more running around, a little bit more frantic. And there's none of that. These guys are calm, cool, collected, very steady here today, doing an excellent job working together and getting this fire under control. Nice stop by the Waverly-Barton Fire District with the second and third alarms coming from Athens Township and Athens Borough Fire Companies. Not a save, unfortunately, but definitely a stop. We will start wrapping up our coverage here from this event shortly. Again, fire is under control, mostly out. You can see from the back side of this house, they did ventilate, did cut a hole in the roof near the chimney. The chimney doesn't do much good because it comes all the way up from the basement, so that vent hole that the firefighters cut with that chainsaw they're holding helps get the smoke and other bad stuff out of the attic. Improves visibility, allows them to check for extension, get that fire out. So again, the carriage house out back looks like it is untouched, unaffected by the fire. You can see different points of entry in the house, different doors, exterior doors numbered differently, and then we can count 6 electric meters on the back of the house where the service comes in from the pole, from Penelec, over to the back of the house. 6 meters there, so 6 different meters, probably multiple apartments. You could have 6 different apartments, or you could have 1 meter, maybe that's a common meter for outdoor lights, whatever, and then maybe 5 different apartments inside. That would match up to the 5 mailboxes on the front porch. Block foundation, 2-story wood structure with attic, and then heavy fire when we showed up here on scene in the southeast corner of that house. You can see there where the heaviest damage is there. Looks like we had a second floor fire there in the southeast corner of the house. Again, Greater Valley EMS has not transported anyone from the scene that we've seen, unless they did prior to our arrival. We got here about just after 2 fire trucks. The first 2 fire trucks arrived. We saw the smoke over the valley and found the call here on Chemung Street at the corner of Orchard Street. Don't believe that there were any injuries. Don't believe that anybody's been transported from the scene. That's unofficial. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like anybody's been transported from the scene here. So we're hoping and praying that everyone is safe here. Obviously, multiple families affected by this. But that's what it's looking like. We will have more on this breaking news story in your morning news. Pat McDonald will have your first morning newscast at 6 a.m. on Choice 102. We will reiterate our reporting here this evening on our morning newscast at 6 a.m. We do news in the morning, 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and noon, and news when it breaks, as you're seeing now. tune into Choice 102.1 FM for tomorrow's morning news. Barring any other emergencies, this will be our lead story in the morning. So, structure fire, corner of Chemung Street and Orchard Street in the Village of Waverly. Fire companies from Waverly-Barton, Athens Borough, Athens Township, getting the fire under control and potentially out at this time into an overhaul phase. Doesn't look like anybody was transported from here by EMS. So it would seem that there were no injuries reported. Township and Borough, Waverly-Barton. Heavily damaged. These firefighters are all volunteer. There are no paid firefighters in this area. These are all volunteers. Again, the call came in just before 7 o'clock this evening. It's Tuesday night. It's a weeknight. This is officially, we're in the Waverly-Barton Fire District. We're in the Village of Waverly. So it is their fire and their command. We immediately called for mutual aid from Athens Borough and Athens Township, two separate fire companies on the Pennsylvania side of the border here in the valley. Of course, for those of you watching from out of the area, the Valley is a FEMA-designated multi-state disaster-resistant community. As I always like to tell everyone, if you were flying over the valley in a helicopter, it would look like one town, one city. It's actually a village, a town, a township, a couple of boroughs, Sayre Borough, Athens Township, two states, Pennsylvania, New York. It's a border community. This house is an apartment house, looking like probably 5 units inside. We're going to move again. There's some activity where we're standing, so we're going to get out of our way. Chemung Street is closed. Well, that's going to do it for us for here for tonight. Chemung Street will probably be closed for the next couple of hours anyway, so we're going to avoid that area. Chemung Street and Orchard Street's where we are. Waverly PD's got it closed off a block in each direction from where we're standing. East, west, north, and south, so we have to go around. Thoughts and prayers to the residents of this home, the owners of it as well. It's a multi-unit residential 2-story house, attic and basement. Looks like the fire started on the second floor, potentially in the attic. We won't know anything until the scene is all cleared and put back together and we get official word from the Waverly-Barton Fire Chief, Public Information Officer, or potentially the Tioga County Fire Investigation Team. We are in Tioga County, New York. So it's their jurisdiction. That's it. That's all there is to report. Road remains closed. Fire appears to be out, and they're currently in the overhaul phase. checking for extension, making sure that it is out.